Okej. Okej, gratuluję. Gratuluję. Gratuluję sobie kupuję today. Whew. Hi everyone, I am Tara, aka Spirit Mother, and I would like to welcome you all back to my channel. On my YouTube channel, I am Spirit to Spirit, Teachings of Going Within Self. On my TikTok, I am 1974 Enlightened Soul, and I'm also live on my YouTube channel. Live on my, I'd like to apologize for the voice, what have you. As I said before, there's a lot of ascension symptoms going on right now, a lot of activations. I have a lot of the plasma light coming in, so it's kind of pushing everything, so I have like very much scratchy. So I may do some clearings as 1:11 as I just looked at the clock. Some of you may be new to my channel. If you're not familiar with my channel, I do advise people to go have a look at the description on my YouTube channel, Spirit to Spirit, Teachings of Going Within Self, so that you can understand a little more of what my channel is about, because my channel is not for everyone. Some people like me, some people love me, some people hate me, some people loathe me. I'll make you laugh, I can make you cry. Sometimes you'll get angry, you'll get pissed off. Sometimes you'll even feel like you want to punch me in the head, and I totally understand that, because sometimes my messages don't feel like they come out the right way, but it's the right way for Spirit, because Spirit speaks through me. And when Spirit speaks through, it's directed towards different spirits. That's why my channel is Spirit to Spirit, Teaching of Going Within Self. Because if I get on what appears to be a tangent to some, it's actually back and forth between the spirit and spirit, spirit to spirit. So if you're feeling the effects of it happening, then maybe it's a part of a spirit that's connected with you, not necessarily you yourself personally, but a spirit that is connected. Okay? So when I say I'll make you laugh, I'll make you cry, I'll piss you off, you'll hate me, you'll get angry with me, you'll want to punch me in the head. And a lot of people of religion may even have a really hard time sitting with my channel. I know sometimes I get people that come in and they ask me, like, do you want to know Jesus? Well, it's actually Yeshua, and I already know him. I already know God. I already know Spirit, the Creator, the universe. I'm connected. We're all connected. We just don't realize it right now. So today, with the way I bring things forward, a lot of people will pass judgment on me, not knowing anything. Okay, and judgment is the part about asking questions. Okay, so it's about, my channel today is about judgment before asking questions, because a lot of people, like when we go into a psychologist's office, okay, a lot of the time you're just kind of sitting there and you're just saying what it is you feel you need to get off your chest. But I've noticed myself going through going to psychologists and what have you, growing up through my years, it actually didn't help me, because just sitting there and somebody just listening and writing something in a piece of paper, and oh yeah, I know, like some therapists, they're trying to teach the patients to do the hand mantras, to hold the hands together. And a lot of people, they don't understand what that is, which is actually bringing a balance. It's actually helping people to stay more centered, more focused. But if they're actually already scattered and they can't even bring themselves in one way, then they're going to find it impossible and not understand what this gesture is, what this mantra is. Okay. I have a lot of other people who, when I'm talking to them and I start asking questions, It's because 'cause I'm getting deeper. It's not because 'cause I'm judging you, because judgment comes after asking questions, but it's maybe you only have a little piece of it. So if I'm going and I'm asking more questions and you think I'm judging you because I'm asking questions, realize one thing, that when somebody is asking you questions, they're not judging you. They're trying to understand your way of thinking. They're trying to understand where it is that you're coming from in your state of being, in your frame of mind, why you think a certain way or why you feel a certain way. And it's not about somebody sitting there and looking at somebody and saying, oh, well, how does that make you feel? It's like, seriously? When somebody did something to you, how did it make you feel? But see, they'll say, well, we're not at liberty to do that. But you know something? Like, it's not about becoming so much as if you're the person's friend. You're there to give them a safe place to actually be able to express themselves. I don't take notes. I get the information, I receive the information. Sometimes I use things that I experience throughout life, throughout my day, or what have you. I use them as, as examples to show people and to bring forward that this happens. Okay? Nothing in life is perfect. We may want it to be, and it's okay for it not to be. When I have people saying about that I'm judging them or they think I'm judging them, it's like, no, I'm not. I'm actually asking questions to understand you. That's a really good therapist. That's a really good guide. It's a really good teacher who can actually help somebody find their own answers, their answer themselves. Some people, I've even told people, go and do videos. If you don't want somebody else looking at you in judgment, but you feel you need to talk about it, you need to bring it out because it feels like poison within you, or it comes out in a vicious anger. I tell people, who's your best psychologist? Who's your best therapist? And in the end, it's that part of you. It's that part of you that embodies spirit. Spirit is your mother. Spirit is your father. Spirit is your brother, your sister, your best friend. And I know some people, they say they don't believe in God. Well, when you don't when it's not like, okay, I understand the concept of people saying I don't believe in God because you can't see it. Okay, I understand that. Now I'm going to ask the question. If you don't believe in God, okay, I have to ask, you fully believe in yourself? I just heard no. Okay. So if somebody is not fully believing in themselves and their own abilities, their own capabilities of being who it is that they know that they want to see good things happen in their life. I hear a lot of people, I want to be wealthy, I want to be rich so that when I die, I can leave everything to my family. And I've heard people say this. Some people even say like they want to get a life insurance or they want to get this within themselves and have something in place because they can't feel like they can't survive in life anymore. So they want to make sure there's something in place for their family. And that part makes me cry. And why it makes me cry is because I once felt the same way. I even went one time and I had a will done up and I have not a cent to my name. But it was for the future as if like maybe I did. And after I did that, I tried taking my life. But it was because I wasn't making sound judgment for myself. There's also making that judgment for yourself, asking those questions because I didn't have somebody asking me those questions because I always found it difficult to go ask people for help because I was always judged. Okay. It wasn't about somebody asking me questions. It was about automatic being judged. So I hated going in to see a psychologist or counselor or a therapist or what have you. Most psychiatrists, well, in therapy or what have you, a lot of the time they want you to go see a psychiatrist so that they can diagnose you with something instead of being able to go in and just sit and talk with someone because you don't have a diagnosis. You just need some help or guidance to get through what it is that you're experiencing. And that's what they're there for. They're not there to shove a label on. A label is something that a system would do, but someone that's actually here as a light worker, as a guide, as a teacher, those ones are here to actually help you find the answers that you are looking for, that you need, things that you need to hear yourself say, because it's very difficult to bring it forward sometimes. And I'm very like, I've told people, do a video of yourself. Talk on a video to yourself as if you are talking to someone else going through the same things, similar things, or have gone through the same things, and they're asking you for guidance, they're asking you for help. What would you say to them? Go on, do a video. You don't have to post it. Just go on, do a video, and then watch it because you will find out and you will see that you will actually end up channeling different forms of yourself, different forms of spirit selves. You will start talking with those spirits because we have like there's a lot of people now they're saying that they hear voices within themselves and they're arguing and they're saying that these people are like that this person's bad and what have you. Okay, but that's parts of you that's feeling that way because of things that you've experienced through life. So that's different ego parts of yourself, different shadow parts of yourself that are feeling that because one person's like that, or because somebody did this to me, then this person's automatically going to do it to me. I said that you know that you have a true friend when they don't take your shit and they ask you questions. They ask you the hard questions that say to you the hard things that everybody else is afraid to say to you in fear of how you will react, how you will react. So it's like yesterday, tôi sẽ làm cái ngắn tục của đã. What am I speaking? I'm speaking ancient languages. How do I do that? I went through my awakening. I went to my shadows and I met them halfway. And I'm still meeting them halfway. I'm still working through my shadows. I'm able to see walls so that I can be able, so that I am able to make my own sound judgments, so that I'm able to not be like able to not do that quick judgment reaction without questioning. You know, what's this person's story? Like, why do they behave like this? What's going on? What are they experiencing? Because there's many different forms. I come into energy, okay, and I can feel people's energy, and I can feel energy switch, and it's like the spirit switch, okay, because each spirit is trying to find their way home, and you're the home. We are the home because we are the spirits. We are spirit, and when we pass judgment on like people like myself. okay? And we feel like, "Oh, well, I don't like that person because they're not normal." You know what? I'll tell you right now, I'm a fucking misfit. I'm proud to be a misfit. I may not fit in everywhere, and I may appear like I'm crazy, out to lunch, a lunatic, a doohickey, however people may perceive. That was a weird one, doohickey, okay? But it doesn't stop me, and I know a lot of people, and this is going to be a hot this is gonna be a hot thing to say because, like, it's part of the judgment. It's part of the asking questions. It's like, okay, there's a lot of uproar about pride and pride parade and what have you, and I understand where it's all coming from. I'm seeing both sides of it, and when you try to explain it to people, the first thing they do is they wanna jump down your throat and tell you that you are this way, you are that way, you're a homophobe, you're this, you're that. Like, like, wait a minute. Well, you have no idea anything about me. Anyone, like, I can't come on, I can express how I feel, and I know that others feel the same way, but I can't speak for others. But you get some that'll come on these channels and they'll say about, oh, how like, how women think about a man or how a man thinks about a woman or what have you. It's like, where'd you get your survey? Who did you use? How many people did you use? And where did they have their nose at a joint? Is that part of you're making judgment if you want to be popular or what have you? How about use your own experiences? Come on and use your own experiences. Speak from experience, opposed to speaking because maybe you took a survey. I go a lot by what I see. Sometimes I will read stuff on the internet, what have you. Very seldomly out of a book because the best teacher is experience. Because what you read in a book, well, that person's experience, and that's like, their hypothesis or their statistics or what have you. It's only coming from what a few people said, or because it was done in the lab. Some people will say certain things because they want to fit in with the majority. They don't want to stand out. Like I said, I'm one of the biggest misfits out there because I know that, like, where I am, there's not too many people quite like me. They're different in different ways. What am I? I'm a child of God. That's what I am. I am a light. You are a light. You are a child of God because it's love. It's coming together with two. And maybe, people say, well, like, my parents didn't love each other. They just had sex. Well, so look at it that way. There's always somebody out there that whether it's one person loves that person, there are other people out there. When I went to university, I went in there not passing judgment because I wanted to experience it in the 2 classes that I was taking. I wasn't real fond of them. I was sitting there and I was trying to enjoy it, trying to get into it, and I couldn't because it was always the perspective of a man. And then when it came to, like, we were doing the killing and letting die, it was the philosophy and what have you, and when it came to the feminist philosophy, like being family and especially with indigenous families and what have you, they all make the choice together and what have you, and we were talking about something else, and when I brought forward to my professor with regards to two-spirited, that's where it comes from. A lot of two-spirited, the connection between the masculine and feminine. Christ, Sophia, Yeshua, Mary, Isis, and Osiris, and then like she was like magicians without. I don't know a lot about that, but I know it's all gonna like things are all gonna come back. I know some things because I have the uploads and the epiphanies, and it's like okay, I get it. I just, but in the first of this all, I wouldn't speak this way in front of anybody. I wouldn't say anything in front of anybody for, well, fear of what I experience right now. It's like even people who know that what you're really doing, they wouldn't stand up for you for fear that, I might lose a friend. It's like, hmm. So it's that part of like, I'm not a friend because I said a true friend is someone that's there even when you're a fucking asshole or when you're a bitch and they'll stand up to you because they won't take your shit. And it's not because they're passing judgment on you. Because with some people, it like with no, not with some people, it's with people. I'm not I'm trying to help others to judge themselves because it's not about judging other people. Judgment day. What is judgment day? Okay. A lot of people think, oh, we're gonna come down and you're getting smited, you're getting smited, you're getting smited, what have you. What it is you going inward into yourself and being able to make the judgments for yourself, asking yourself those hard questions. And when I come out and it seem like I'm judging people because I'm asking those hard questions and I'm actually getting them to speak out because they start speaking out and I keep asking more questions. That's when it's like, oh, you're judging me. You're judging me. No. How am I judging you if I'm asking you questions? You can't make sound judgment without asking questions. You go in a courtroom, they ask questions, and I know the questions can be manipulated. Things can be interpreted wrong. But when you use your heart, you actually know what's interpreted wrong, what's not interpreted wrong. So it's realizing that if somebody's asking you questions, trying to help you heal most people, like, that are actually here to help others with that. I don't sit in an office. Sit in my home. I feel a lot around me, and for the longest time, I had a hard time going out, and sometimes I still have a hard time going out. I love being around people, and it's not because I'm going out and judging people for their mishaps, their wrongdoings, or what have you. Because I know sometimes when I approach people or see people like with a lot of tattoos and what have you, it's that hurt with a part within me that may have experienced something and may have been in the wrong assumption that, people of God don't have shit piles of tattoos. But no, sometimes the tattoos are actually aspects of themselves, and they had no other way to express it other than bear it on their body. I have one tattoo. I've had it since 95. I actually had a pre-engagement ring and broke up with we broke up, and I traded my pre-engagement ring for a tattoo. So basically, ano mo kisa like ito po yan. Her tattoo took 11 hours and hurt like a son of a bitch because it was a homemade gun and one freaking needle. And he wasn't going easy. He was like sticking the needle right in. The muscles were just jumping and grabbing the needle sometimes, like you little fucker. So it took 11 hours. Um, I always wanted to be in counseling, therapy, what have you, but I didn't want to prescribe medication because, like, some people say that medication can help you. Well, medication was never supposed to be a permanent thing. So it's being able to dig out those wounds. And I know we don't want to see them, but when we're telling our family members that we want to die and we feel like we have to go somewhere else, whether it be out in a camp somewhere or in a barn or in a camper, or just even some people go out in their shed or garage. I'm going to be honest. I know a few people very close. I knew them since I was like a kid, like less than, like I was just like we've known from the time I was born. And three of them shot themselves. One at home at the foot of their bed, one in a shed with their family in the house, and one out in the driveway with his wife there around. And it was because they weren't happy. They were dealing with something that they were unhappy with, and they felt that that was the only way out. And it had a lot to do with relationships, because sometimes, like, even if it's not within that relationship, it's stuff that we carry or we have regrets and we can't change things that we've done. But am I judging those people for what they did? No, because I can totally relate with them. I can see their pain. I can feel their pain because I've been there. Sometimes I go through a feeling that others would be better off without me. Thing is, maybe those others would be better off without me, but there are many people who wouldn't, and I don't say it in an egotistical way. It's being able to see things on a deeper level, and I'm not talking about it there. I'm talking about the deeper level within you, and we all struggle a lot. Like, some people say, "Oh, I can judge myself." Can you? Are you still judging other people? Because if you're still judging other people before you even ask any questions or know anything about them, then I guess you don't know how to judge yourself very well either. And not being rude, I catch myself. If I feel like I'm starting to judge someone, I catch myself, and then that's when I will figure out, like, okay, just this is like, ask this question. Know that there is a spirit in here, a being, what have you, an entity. Just don't like what I'm saying, and that's okay. I even like was you always see some videos, okay? This is like it gave me the wrong like I heard it just a few days ago because I always see people going like that, okay? It's like anything, it gets hijacked because you see some that are going like that and they have their tongue stuck out, like really, some of them like come off really creepy looking, but that actually in sign language means I love you. And I didn't know that, so there would be parts in my body that would kinda get freaked out because of experiences that I've seen or witnessed or, like, what have you. And then I have someone that, when they just, like when they don't wanna talk about something because, some people just wanna push everything down and then holler at you later. When you try to approach something, you try to talk about it, like, "Peace. Here, take that fucking peace sign and shove it up your ass because you're not doing it as if to say, 'Hey, peace, brother.' You're saying, 'Hey, peace. I don't want to talk to you. All you want to do is fight.'" Like, no. Like, I thought we were adults here having a conversation. But, when I have feelings, something that I need to get off my chest, I get shut down. But these same people, they figure that, it's okay if we say something. You just keep your little you just keep your little bitch mouth shut. We don't wanna hear from you. You ain't got nothing important to say. I got more fucking shit important to say. You just don't wanna listen because your ego wants to get in the way. Mind you, because, we know everything. Individually, we know everything. Well, we actually do, but, like, not in the sense that we, like, come off as, "I'm a know-it-all." But I'm talking about wisdom. I'm talking about Akashic records, lifetimes. You do have a lot of information. You do have the answers to a lot of stuff. But all those answers come when you learn how to question before judging. Hence why my title is Judgment Before Questioning. And some people, like, they don't have any interest in my channel. I had one person ask me if I was a life coach. Well, I guess in a certain way, yes, I'm just sometimes I come off harder because I had somebody come at me hard to, like, get me to stand up for myself and say, "Hey," like, and it was spirit, form of spirit coming to me and saying, "You're doing this to yourself." And it was because I wasn't allowing myself to let go of things. And some things are from freaking 40 years ago because it's that part of trying to comprehend how certain people can get away with doing the same thing. But what it is because not enough people step forward because the victims are usually told to keep their mouth shut or something like that. Yeah, yeah. I'm like by being a judge myself, I'm very hard on myself. And the spirits keep telling me, the spirit keeps telling me, you can't be that hard on yourself. You need to look at the good stuff that you're doing. They keep telling me, even if you don't realize or see it in your physical world, everybody is helping each other in one way or another. Whether it's to wake up to their own strength, to stand up for themselves, to see their true worth. Like, I just wanna be in front of people, not out of ego, but to help people understand what the awakening really is. Waking of your own truth so that you can get out of your way and find your way. Is that part of judging yourself before you decide that you wanna judge someone else? Because I've seen so many people judge other people, and I know them. And it's like, seriously, people? What the fuck's your malfunction? You wanna throw shit at me or other people, but you don't wanna look at yourself? Times when I pass judgment, I'm gonna say with regards to pride parade, people say about like everybody, "Oh, it's gonna be this and like this and that." This is the drag part of it, and I'll get to that, and people may not like what I say, but, it's a part of hearing me out, and you might understand. I went to the pride parade, and I was sitting there, and I was sitting on the curb, and I was watching it. I was looking for all the shit that this person told me that they were all about because they had gone to them. Don't know how many freaking years ago it was because since I've known them, they've never gone to one. I was sitting there, and I was watching, and there was this woman there, and she was I don't know if she was autistic or if she was just very highly elevated and didn't know how to come because she was very up there and constantly talking. I could feel other people like wanting her to just like stop. And I'm looking around and feeling her, and I know it's not me wanting her to stop because she's excited. I kept watching the parade, and as it got closer to the end, I started crying. And I started crying because I seen that there were there like everyday people like myself, people that say that we don't fit in with society because of the way we see things, the way we experience something. And people in here that don't agree with the parade, well, do I agree that they should be taking this other stuff into the classrooms and teaching it to the students? No, I don't, because I really strongly believe that it's not that the children need to be educated as it is that the grown-ups need to be educated because they've been programmed by watching different elites put different things in to cause the anger between the division. Have you ever read like each color of what it meant on the Pride parade or on the Pride flag? Okay, people say like that one is six like the different colors. I guess there's like six of them, and people affiliate the number six with it's dark, but it's actually spiritual growth. I actually read what the flag meant before, and people say God's flag is seven. Maybe it's like leave the fear behind. Like if you look at how many people have actually observed rainbows, because you know sometimes you see them differently. Yeah. Um, it's weird. Yep. Wow. Hmm. That's pretty weird. Has anybody had pictures just oddly go missing off of their tablets? Because I had a album in here that had 2,200 and some pictures on it, and now it's not giving it to me. I must say, but pay attention to rainbows because not all colors end up showing up in a rainbow, and people could like it's like they say, well, they're hijacking the rainbow. Well, if the rainbow has 7 colors, and I'm not I'm not like downplaying what you're going through, what you're experiencing with your frustrations. I'm not downplaying that. I'm saying, have you actually been to a pride parade? Have you ever actually went and experienced this stuff for yourself, or did you just go by what other people were saying, or by a mainstream media, or what have you? Because if you look at a lot of protests that are taking place, okay, who's the ones running havoc? Well, I bet you those are the ones paid by the elites that want to stir up shit. And just like I have family members that are going through this and experiencing it. Because, well, I agree with them with regards to the teachings in school. No, I don't believe it should be something that is taught in the classroom and mandatory for students, because I do believe that is up to the parents and the adults to be educated on this stuff so that they can actually explain things to their children when it arises. Okay. Do I agree that a man dressed in drag should be able to go in a women's washroom? No, I don't. Reason being, because when a man wants to push his way into a female's washroom, it has nothing to do with standing up for their gender, the way they feel about their gender. It's more to do with the control thing. Because I've heard what people, ones that have perceived themselves to be drag and figured that, I'm a woman, I'm going in a woman's washroom, and if they don't let me in, I'm going to push my way in and I'll punch them out. Seriously. I'm going to say, like, what happened to co-ed washrooms? Seriously. They were always called co-ed washroom, not a gender neutral. Seriously. I'm not throwing shade on people because they identify one way or another. I hear other people saying about that they're going to put kitty litter boxes in schools for children that say about of non-binary, or their cats or what have you, or they're this type of animal or that type of animal. No, you do not put cat. You do not accommodate in that way. If they have that belief, okay, I understand. It's because of where they are in their journey right now, because they've been different things. I know of somebody that like used to go around pretending that they were a dog, a child. They were a dog. I knew another one that used to go around with a cat tail on, would even sleep with a cat tail. But they come out of those because they're trying to find their identity, their own identity, not who somebody says they are or they have to be. I ask the questions. I see the stuff. I had a friend that they would dress in drag, but they were with all the makeup on that had people looking and feeling afraid. That's what it is. Fear. But there can also, like, some people are doing it for entertainment purpose, entertainment reasons only, because they're making money from it. But there are some that are actually being aggressive and assertive to bully. And that's where we ask the questions before making the judgment. No, schools should not have put anything into place because it's not the school that should be saying what the children are learning. They like to say it's actually supposed to be parents. I said before one other day that I told somebody that what I wanted to do with regards to like something creative. I like to see a school around where kids could go in and just actually be creative, where the kids were helping teach each other. The teachers were there more as a guide to observe and help them if they needed helping. That you'd go on their strong points. And I was asked, well, they're going to teach math. Well, most things use math, but it's got to be taught properly. And then she said, well, then they said about English. And that's when I said English was never the original language. Like, I really don't even want to speak English no more. I just want to walk around speaking in what people say is tongues or, some people even say gibberish. But you're judging me when you don't even freaking know me. You're not asking like questions in the sense that help you to think for yourself. I'm not your enemy, and I'm not here to ridicule you. I'm not here to shame you because the one who would be, when I come on and do my videos, the one who would be ridiculed and shamed, that would be on me because of the way I come off or the way I look. And, I'm not even judging myself for it anymore because, people are going to think what they want, but they don't know. You can go by what somebody else says. But then you're using someone else's judgment. And some say one day, because I brought something forward, and they said, well, like, you do have confidentiality. And I looked right at them, and it's like, well, like I was sitting here one day when somebody said something to you about somebody else that was not anybody else's business. And that person wasn't here to defend themselves. So I guess, you want to, like, people want to sit around me and say, like, I hear about them talking about other people. It's okay to talk about other people, but it's not okay for other people to talk about you. I must say, wow. Is that a judgment? No, that's just a wow. Don't like me, I don't care. Maybe it hurt your feelings. I even had a person basically say, like, if you've got my face and what have you, it's like, really? So because a woman, and I'll say it again, because a woman or feminine energy is standing up for themselves, you wanna punch them out? You think that they deserve a punch because they were standing up for themselves to you? Sorry, but you're not my fucking king. like, now who's passing judgment? It's not the part of me judging for that. I'm asking the question, like, why would anyone feel like, if somebody's standing up for themselves, they deserve a good punch? So what I said what come out of my mouth was, "Yeah, well, maybe somebody needs to take a baseball bat to your fucking kneecaps." And I'm not a violent person. But seriously, when people talk like that and they say that somebody deserves a punch or anything, any physical violence on them because they're standing up for themselves, that's the part where we all need to go really deep within ourselves. And it's not to throw shame on someone either. It's to say, "Tu rischi tutto e" think about it now. I'm not saying you're stupid either because I know you're probably pretty fucking brilliant. You just don't use the brilliance because some people are just so stuck in their ego that, you can't get your head out of your ass because you're still in the past. Oh, because one person did this or one person did that, then everybody's like that. So I'll slit their, like I've heard people say about cutting someone's throat or punching them in certain spots so that they can't breathe. Seriously, what the fuck is your malfunction? You and people think that, like, if you're a person like that and you feel that way, you think you don't belong somewheres where, you know, you don't pose a threat, somewheres where you can actually work on releasing your own anger in a healthier way, opposed to causing fear within somebody, you know, say, like, if wanting to punch me or feeling that punching me because I'm saying something you don't like gets you through every day, well, you know that karma comes back on you and not for me either. Because if you're like that, all I can do is, like, pray for some healing for you, that you're able to release that anger within you so that you can have the, the family. Because, a real family, it's not about having the fucking money. And the thing is, like, I know when to pick my battles. Sometimes, can't control spirit, and spirit just has a fit because that part of that spirit is having a flashback. So I say, like, when you heal, others heal. I already answered that with regards to why pass judgment on people. I already said that sometimes I do start to pass judgment, and then I realize, no, I got to ask questions. Che mucleta sarà, si tu esce la vista like clearing like I know what I'm meant to be doing. It's just being able to get out there and do it because I experience both sides of myself, the masculine and feminine, the dark and the light. And I'm learning to love every part of me, whether others love that part or not. It's because they don't understand it. Because a lot of people, they're too quick to judge and less apt to ask questions because somebody else told them. Oh, well, it must be right because so and so told me. You know, I'll use the term again. If I farted and told you it didn't stink, but you were standing right next to me and you could smell it, would you look at me and tell me I was wrong? It didn't stink? Or would you be honest with me and say, hey, man, that fart really stinks, whether you want to believe it or not? I love this song. Ooh. So I'm I put up with so much crap like a lot of other people. A lot of other people are still remaining silent. Sometimes it's like you're still people are still at that, um, program, speak when spoken to, for you to be seen and not heard. That happens a lot when we're children. In some families, the adults have company and the children gotta go away. I understand that, but sometimes it even happens when your child is trying to come to you about something, and this is what we're working through with regards to the shadows, because the shadows are our children, spirit's children. Like a lot of people say about different forms of immigrants coming into the country or what have you, and that they all live in one big household and what have you. In some countries, it's because they have no choice, but in some aspects, it's because the family helps each other. But we say they got it all wrong. And I told you before, it's the elites that make everybody of different backgrounds like they're the problem when they're not. It's the programs that put things in there to cause division. Pride parade to me, it's being able to be authentic, and it's taking the like being able to see the bigger picture opposed to the little the smaller things that are thrown in there to create havoc and a distraction from the real truth. You think that like all this non-binary and transgender and all this other different forms of the way people look at themselves by their gender or what have you, do you seriously fucking think that it just came now? Kuya, sige to po niyo sa laki sa mo ko yan. It's shit. How fucking naive are people? Like, seriously, it's always been there. And you notice it's been more put in people's face, and I think a lot for some when people will say, "Well, you're homophobic." It's like, no, maybe it's not that the person is homophobic. Maybe that person that you feel is homophobic, maybe they had an experience with someone. Do you know if they did or not? Probably not. But the first thing you wanna do is pass judgment and say that they're homophobic. You know, minister, from what I understand, going out and voting saying, "Oh, because of this, you're that, and because of this, you're that." No, he's that is what's creating the problem, because a real leader helps everyone see the bigger picture, not divides everybody into compartments and then throws in a bunch of bullshit that causes anger, hostility, hate. Went to certain protests, but when it came to the vaccines and what have you, do you know what that was? That was drug pusher movement. And then when people stood up for the protests with it, oh fuck, we were all thrown in like it was shut down. Some people had, from what I understood, some people had their kids like had threats of taking their kids away. Bank accounts were froze. You know, that's an abuse of authority. But you know, people don't want to look at stuff like that. Like I've had people say, or heard people say, like, you know, I'm glad that they froze your account. Seriously? Like, seriously. You're glad that people's accounts got frozen because of abuse of authority, because you didn't agree with somebody standing up. You were just as much a fucking bully as the ones that fucking shut down the bank accounts. You know, there were a lot of people that were blackmailed, bribed, had their livelihoods threatened. Did you pass judgment on that? No, you just passed judgment on the fucking people that did not agree with the needles because they didn't want a fucking poke in their arm because nothing was done right. You know, think of all these other vaccines and shit that they put into place, all the years that it took. But this, was it 6 months? And did you ever read the back of the Lysol label? You know, your Lysol sprays? Hey, shit, man, when I was up in Alberta in the beginning of 2020, when this shit all fucking started, on the back of the Lysol spray, it had used for COVID. Basically. And this was in February, and COVID only broke out really in January, February, March. Wake up. I had someone hollering at me all the time that I was not supposed to pass judgment on them. Kept telling me it was my patriotic duty to get a needle. It was my patriotic duty to wear a mask, mandatory to wear a mask. Seriously? So I just didn't go in any places where there was really a mask to use. If I did go in, oh, I'd hold the mask down here and say I got one on, but I'm not wearing it. I got one of the needles, and I got it for it was they kept pushing at me and pushing at me, bullying. You're gonna kill your family. You're gonna kill your family. You're gonna kill people. Seriously. The people that did that were actually the ones that were going to end up killing people because you rejected your own fucking family because they didn't have the same beliefs as you. Seriously. And don't tell me you're of God because that is not of God. I don't care who you are. Disse que eu tô. And I know what was going on because I could see the shifts. I could see the different spirits within. And as that went on, holy fuck, man, you talk about freaky. But this person that kept telling me it was my patriotic duty, okay, this one day, there's someone around and he said, he really wants you to get it. He's worried about you. We'll build you this, get it. And all along, I was feeling like, these needles are meant to get rid of people like myself. People that they say have mental health issues that are a bane on society. But it's not that we're a bane on society. It's that we're a threat to the system. So I made the appointment, and I was like debating the whole time till the night before the appointment. I was like debating, like, no, no, I don't want to get it. I don't want to get it. I'm not getting it. I don't want to get it. And then a person close to me, they started having a cough, not knowing at that time that they were experiencing ascension symptoms, or because they got the vaccine that they were experiencing the offset of the symptoms that the vaccine would produce. And I don't give a fuck. You can take my channel, you can do whatever you want. You can even take my channel and shove it up your ass. For me saying this, I really don't care. It's only because the truth hurts and you want to say that I'm spreading false propaganda or I'm spreading this, I'm spreading that. No, I ain't. I got the needle. So I'm going to get it. I don't know anything happens to this person. I'm going to get the needle. And she's crying, and I can hear her voice saying, she's scared. She's scared. And I was like, no, I'm going to do this for the team. Take one for the team. Fuckers. Took the needle. And I don't care if you believe me or not. I got home and I was sitting on my couch in the back area, sitting on my couch. And all of a sudden, hands started making this really high pitch sound. Like it was driving me crazy. I was getting dizzy. I wasn't feeling well. I went out to the person and I said, call the ambulance. I'm going. And then I couldn't hold myself up no more. I went down and my body started crashing on the floor. The person with me didn't treat me very well. It was just like I had a dead person. Somebody with no feeling whatsoever. And my body was smashing into the floor, wooden floor. My head was smashing off the floor. It's like, all of a sudden, it was like I could feel, it's like my heart stopped. And the strange thing was when that happened, the person that was there with me, they took one arm here and the other one there. It was just, "I love you." Then all of a sudden, it was like someone had taken paddles and started talking me back. And whether it was trying to tell me something that was coming, I don't know. A couple years later, I lost a family member. They died in their sleep, and it was because of the heart. So, gonna be solo. Not doing this, bringing us up for attention, or it's it's bringing it up because it needs to be felt by many right now, because there are many people who lost loved ones from this because they were told they weren't allowed to use their own judgment. They weren't allowed to ask questions. If they started asking questions, they'd be censored, they'd be shut down. Well, fuck your censoring. And if somebody wants to say I'm a basket case, well, one knows one. I'm not throwing shade on you, but that's a part of you judging me because you're not even getting the fucking point. So I must say, why is your heart so fucking closed off? Because I feel on a very large spectrum, the adultery, that's you're cheating on yourself. You're cheating yourself. It's like, yeah, we help people. It's okay to help. There's got to be boundaries. Because when you don't set boundaries, you're not even able to use your own judgment on your own situation. Kinukuha yan. Ito na binigyan niyo, dodon. Did I make a good life coach? Oh, maybe. Probably. Did I make a good motivational speaker? Well, I see a lot of motivational speakers. They do get pretty tough, but you're going to have people there that actually want to hear it and just don't want to look at a person and say, where do you get your fucking credentials? What right do you have to say anything? They say, oh yeah. It's not about what I have to say because spirit does most of the talking, and we work together because that's the part of the oneness. Spirit is the one that's helped me to help teach myself how to use my own discernment, how to use my own judgment without jumping to conclusions, to use less overthinking, and over analyzing everything because it friggin' pisses me off when everything is so when I see things and it's just so fucking over analyzed. It's like, my goodness, it's so fucking simple. Why are you overthinking it? Why are you over analyzing? People will judge someone because they've taken their own life. Okay. But those same people that'll judge someone for taking their own life will think it's okay to give euthanasia to someone. Do you know that during euthanasia, because I was watching something with regards to it, the process of it, they actually paralyze the person before they give the, you know, what they call euthanasia, but the death, like some would say, it's the death shot because it fucking drowns you from the inside out. It drowns you. They say that it drowns you. That person that just got paralyzed, that cannot express to other people what they are experiencing, are actually experiencing being drowned. Others don't realize that. So that to me, that's not so. I mean, they say it's death by choice because it was consented to. But did they actually know what they were fucking consenting to? Of what they were going to experience? Because they were doing autopsies on the people, and this is what they were finding that people were actually drowning. How many people have actually almost drowned it? They panicked or had somebody almost drown them. And they panicked. What happened then? So just imagine what someone who is paralyzed within themselves cannot ask for help. Ask yourself, what do you think that they're experiencing in there? You're experiencing to them, whether it be 5 minutes, because it was anywhere from 5 minutes to 24 hours. It's like to them, it's an eternal drowning. Because there's not a fucking thing they can do about it. And that's the same as our trauma, which is what leads to the PTSD, and we become drowning in our own PTSD. But some people would like they look at me and say, "Well, what right do you have to talk? You ain't got the credentials for it." But I'll say one other thing. I had somebody tell me the credentials that I do have. I had somebody tell me like, it's just a piece of paper. If I'm being honest, I'd rather have somebody sit with me who knows exactly what I'm going through and what I've experienced and can understand me on a deeper level than somebody who went to university or college or what have you and read a few theses and some books and did a few experiments here and there and was told, oh no, you got to psychoanalyze this person to do this and that and what have you. Well, I'll tell you what it is without your fucking psychological analyzing. It's a spirit to spirit. But people mention the word spirit or a psychic or anything like that. Holy fuck! Where's the straight jacket? There's to your straight jacket. Understand that people go like it's like they go what is classed as psychotic or schizophrenia or what have you. It's because there's so much coming at that person, and that person don't know how to fucking deal with it because they don't understand fully what they're experiencing. And people that have to, like, I'm not saying it's small because some have gone further, but the ones that sit in there with their fucking pen, you really want to help people. Most people don't like you keeping fucking notes on them because then, you think they don't use it against you. You're fucking right, they do. They use it against you right until the day you die, unless you take that chance and you make a change. Know from experience, and I know others that have experienced it. I'm not speaking for them, but I know others who have experienced it. And there's been more that have experienced it. And then, like, you know, the ones that can actually help that are in the mainstream area, they're so fucking expensive that you have to be rich to afford it. Or you have to have health insurance, which for me cost me 13, $1,400 there once when I got health insurance for a year. It cost me about 13, $1,400 for a year for health insurance, and I didn't even use it because a lot of people will have it as a precaution. Have it as a precaution. We pay shit tons of money in it. Every year you're going to renew it, so if you didn't use it, you say, well, you didn't use it. There's 13, $1,400 that went by that you might have been able to, if you needed it, you would have had the money. It's not that you need these insurances. You're led to believe. It's that part of the lack of real judgment on a situation like that. Asking the questions: is it really for your benefit, or is it really for the corporation's benefit? Because they're all fucking affiliated together. Do you not realize that? You know, either way, they're getting all their money. The insurance company, there's like these companies, they're getting the money. Like, you pay into this and you get like, what is it, 4, 5 counseling sessions or whatever came first. So if you had $500 coverage, you have to go to a counselor. Okay, you're not going to your main stream through medical care or what have you. There's a lot of them now. It's $175 an hour. And I'm not saying that they're not good because, I don't know, and I'm not jealous of it. I just say, like, you know, aren't you taking advantage of people's pain and suffering? There's my judgment. I said it's not on everyone, but I've met a lot like it. I met one doctor who started conversion disorder. When he walked by me the first time I was in there, He walked by me, and I had seen him from looking him up. He looked at me, and just after I said hi, like I didn't even exist, but I was the fucking paycheck. They did videos on me. And I talked and stuff. I even was explaining what I was experiencing. They even had videos where I would end up going catatonic. And they told me it was conversion disorder, but I actually had the documentation to say that I had an impaired cerebral metabolism, which lack of oxygen, glucose getting to certain parts of the brain. But I had conversion disorder, and not one of the doctors would have a look at the PET scan because I went for a second opinion about it. There's where you're like, so when they do stuff like that, you're not allowed to use your own judgment. You're supposed to go by what they say because they know everything. They know what's best for you. You don't know your own fucking body, but yeah, you do. I'll say it again. I got no respect for the systems. If people show, if the ones that work in the system show actual respect for the people, then I might have some. Then I'll start having some respect for them. But until then, you don't deserve people's respect. It's not about just forgiving and then going back and living through the same torment and pain and torture because that's what I experienced. And the whole time I was experiencing it, it was because they kept referring back to my medical records. But they say they don't use it against you. Only if it got to go to a court of law, or if you're going to hurt someone or hurt yourself. Well, if I hurt myself, that's really none of your fucking business now, is it? I'm not saying go out and hurt yourself, people. I'm making a point. Because you don't need to hurt yourself. It's the parts of you that are in pain and are struggling with working through it because you don't have. And sometimes we don't want to because it's easier to just push it down. But you get angry. You get angry. You say you love people, but you take it out on the people you love. I've been feeling like shit for the past over like about a week or more now. Yeah, yeah, it's been about a week because I released a lot of it. Because when you keep your pain built up within your body hurts in places where the doctors they can't explain why you're hurting, but I'm telling you why you're hurting. You can't find nothing. I'm telling you why you're hurting. It's not a conversion disorder. It's not a label or anything like that. It's those different aspects of yourself, those shadow parts of yourself that we've suppressed are wanting to be seen and heard by you. You're saying you need to look, you need to look at us. You need to heal with us. And those voices, if they're saying that you're this or you're that, those voices you're hearing, just tell them, like, actually, no, I'm not. And when you start doing that, you start believing in you, they start going away. Because once you start allowing yourself to heal from the stuff that these voices are hollering about, it's your guilt, it's your shame that you're experiencing. So if you live with someone and you see what they're going through, what they experience and stuff like that, you know that it's not something that can be explained. Why the fuck are you throwing shade up? Say it again. I was in the psychiatric unit 4 times within 2 years, 3 times within one. And on the third time, when I got out and I went back to see them, they asked me what I thought they had been diagnosed with. And I told them, oh, probably psychosis or schizophrenia. But psychosis is actually psychic SOS. If you take the word and you adjust a couple letters, you'll see for yourself. And I was told no. They have you as unexplained. So people that are considered unexplained, they don't fit in with society. Sometimes people that don't fit in are the answers to it. It's you who's not accepted, not them. And that's where the judgment before asking questions come in. I feel for them, and then I'm asking questions because I'm feeling it. And it wants to come up. But we keep pushing it back deep. And that's the part where if you don't want other people, if you're not comfortable talking with other people, then go talk to yourself and act as though it's somebody else that you're giving advice to. Because I know people like to tell, like someone I'm around, like, why don't you just make her go? Why is she still there? Like, why do you put up with that shit? And I have to say to those people, seriously, you have no fucking clue what goes on. You have no fucking clue what has transpired. You have no fucking clue why I get angry. Because when I get angry, it's usually for a reason. There's times that's when I get it, my own feelings. There's times when I feel like there's so much rage within me, but it's being able to differentiate between whether it's my true feelings or whether I'm experiencing the collective or whether I'm experiencing an energy nearby. And people don't understand that. Well, one day you will. There's times when I have that much and I just almost envision myself. Sometimes I do envision myself taking everything and just flipping it and smashing. That's when I know that I'm experiencing probably someone else's frustration trying to deal with somebody else or other parts. Um, I have certain people that I get really frustrated with because they're so set in their ego and they're so set in limited beliefs. They're so set in teachings that was programmed into them. They didn't use their own discernment and go down different avenues to find something different. Like I'll say it again. Sometimes I just like when I see people watching like just anger and negativity and oh like this these people are going up against these people. You know, you're just fucking contributing to the problem. I'm gonna be honest, I'm sick of hearing people saying about people migrating to different parts of the world. They're going in and they're taking their jobs and homes or what have you. I see where you're coming from. But what I want you to keep in mind is, you know, it's not those people's fault. It's your government's fault that you're taking it out on the people who are. It's your corporations. You know, your corporations and your government work together. But we don't want to use judgment on that. Like people just want to believe, oh, you know, like the day that that person told me because I don't vote, I lose my say. No, how do I lose my say if I didn't vote for someone else to have say for me because I don't give permission for someone else to have say for me? If you want to be like, if you want to have someone else speak for you, that's up to you. But I speak for me. I could have actually sued a doctor, a gynecologist. But I didn't know so much at the time. Actually, I could have sued a couple of them because when I was 20, I went to get my tubes tied. I just wanted them tied so I could have them first. And without my knowing, well, you know, this gynecologist thought that he'd take it upon himself because, you know, that's what we do. He cut Bert and tied my tubes. And then when I went for my hysterectomy, well, because the anesthesiast was careless, put the IV in, went and took the solution and squeezed it really hard. So when she squeezed it really hard, it all backlashed on my arm. So none of the solution went in my body. She took it, she dabbed it with a towel. Instead of taking it out, drying everything up dry, and reinserting the solution, which she knew fucking well that none of it went in because it all went all over me. She took, she dabbed it dry, a little bit dry, and then she took tape, and she just started wrapping it around my arm and said, "Let's hope it doesn't come out during surgery." Mm. I didn't know what happened until years later when I actually spoke to someone who worked in an ER in the operating room, and they told me that when you go in for surgery, halfway through the surgery, they bring you halfway out so that they can check your vital signs. Except where the solution didn't go in my arm and it went all over me. I didn't have that in my body. I just had, this mask thing. And mm, I come out, everything was black. But when I come out screaming bloody blue murder and screaming for my mom to help me because I could literally feel them cutting my insides and pulling it out through my vagina. But we're not supposed to be judging. We're not supposed to pass. We're not supposed to judge on them. We're supposed to just dismiss it. Fucked my body. Even put a bladder mesh in, and I ended up with a cystosis because I didn't look into things. I didn't ask questions because I put my trust in someone else. But I guess we do. And I feel like others, you know, I share my story because I can. And if you don't want to hear it, you do not have to be here. And I'm not being rude. I'm just saying, like, I didn't invite you here. You chose to be here. If you go into people's channels who are opening up to help others see, to help others grow and release their own stuff, then I have to say, it's time you look within yourself. And it's not judgment. It's because if other people want to try to come into someone else's channel and shame them, then I'm going to say it, that's a shame on you. Because nobody should feel pain for their experiences that they've gone through. Changing your ways, keeping yourself from doing the same thing over again, taking responsibility for your actions instead of thinking that somebody else has to take responsibility for you. Child. When the masculine and feminine are within you, you embody your masculine, your feminine, you embody the mother, father, and the child. That's when you become one. When you start saving your inner child instead of suppressing the inner child because other people tell you to grow up. It is grown up anyways. Because to me, grown up is being mature enough to know the difference between right and wrong. and still being able to be a kid, a child, vulnerable in the sense that, it's okay if you feel pain instead of somebody saying, oh, suck it up. Yes, we do need to work on ourselves to become stronger within ourselves. But some of us need work on ourselves. So if people want to think that, I'm judging them, but all along I'm asking questions. And I guess you really don't know where judgment is coming from because judgment comes from questions. And that's why your systems want to censor you so that you can't make a sound good for yourself. So that you feel like you have to keep going to a system opposed to your own system that knows more about you. Because it was traumatic, yeah. And the physical years remind us of that stuff. If you don't mind me asking, how long ago? I'm not talking to the one that wrote, I was attacked. It's okay if you don't want to elaborate any further. You did what is. Some people, they don't understand what others go through because they're too quick to judge. And when they see different things or what have you, some, like I said about myself, I was judging well, not as I was, my body was feeling something. So whether it was a spirit to spirit aspect of it, and somebody else, because I never had, to my knowledge, I never had any trauma with someone having tattoos, but I know a lot of it was always affiliated with, it was always that, the bad people, the ones with the tattoos, but, it's just more of scars that are shown on the outside in different ways. Or even it's the art of their story. Ikaw kung nagkakaya sa patay. Yeah, because my eyes are probably looking a little bug-eyed because I feel a little bug-eyed right now. And it's because I'm experiencing shifts within the body. I'm experiencing movement of energy. Like being able to bring and then like admit things to myself, whether it be to public or whether it just be on a video. I'm having that deep conversation with parts of myself that maybe I couldn't have any other, or that you couldn't have any other. I'm hitting spots that make people angry or what have you, because I know when I speak of this stuff, I can feel other people connecting with it and really resonating with it. Kita puri-puri aside. And I'm beginning to learn that, it's not so much me in that aspect that's passing a judgment, because I don't know these people and I don't know why I have a problem, but whether it's that I'm connected to a different spirit that came from somebody else that's kind of maybe using me as a medium to sort of help sort it out for them. Maybe one of these spirits actually really fucked somebody over with a bunch of tattoos, so they have fear of it. That would be not jumping to a judgment, but sort of asking, like speculating on the question of maybe there's more to it than what we know. So it's going deeper. Because I know, like, back in ancient times, even then, there was shit calls and tattoos. But I go on and I see different people, and they're preaching about God and what have you. And they're singing songs of gospel songs and stuff like that. And I'm looking and I'm thinking, okay, wow. Because I know that there was a part of me that misunderstood things, because I never really paid attention to people having tattoos in that sense. It just kind of went by, but like we're actually seeing, because people put art on a wall, they'll put art on their clothes, they'll put art on a picture, they'll put art on their vehicles, what have you. And a lot of people, they become their own canvas. But I know that a lot of stuff comes from where a person is in that part of their life, what they're going through, what they're experiencing. Because I know, like, of someone, because they were in a bad place, they weren't talking, bits and pieces. And I would go in my bathroom, bath, or what have you, or use the toilet, and I'd look around and it'd be like a yellow ring, like a yellowy orange ring around the tub. And I never really thought anything of it, and paid a whole lot of attention. And I seen like rusty razors, and it's a still didn't clue in. And then one time, first floor of my car, and I was at home, and I was feeling like something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong. And I was calling people saying, something's wrong. Like I don't know, like I'm feeling something's wrong. And then I got a call. This person called and said that I just put the car in the ditch. Just went off in the ditch. So I was like, okay. So I had to call someone. We got my car out. The car was fine. I driving. Kind of looked over because they started talking. I didn't know. I didn't know what to do. All I could think of was just drive in circles. Just keep driving till I figure out what it is that I'm going to do. Because I seen the person's wrist, and they were only like they weren't even they were only younger person. They were in their 20s, and from there to there, on both of their wrists, they had it all gouged up from the rusty razors. And all I could do was just keep telling myself, be calm, don't freak out, gotta be calm. It was all over a relationship. It's like, you gotta be calm, so I kept driving. Then I ended up sitting in the hospital for a while. It's like, why are we here? Because I really want you to be in here. But I don't want to. I don't want to talk. Okay. And then when I called when I got to the hospital, because I called them before I got there. They come out, you wouldn't go in. You wouldn't go in. You wouldn't go in. It's like, okay. So I said, okay, I understand you don't want to go and talk, but I really need you to go in and have that cleaned up. So they were good with that. Home. And then a few years later, kind of experienced something similar, but not. I was still over a relationship. And I was scared of the person going anywhere because like it was storming out and they were upset and everything like that. And that was the night that I started kind of calling on them, trying to hold them in the house, crying, and telling them like, please, like, don't go tonight because you can't tell somebody that like you don't want like that somebody's not holding you up for that or situations like this. I was stubborn for that. I wouldn't listen. So like, why would anybody listen to me at that time? But that's when they took and they grabbed hold because they were in it just like a whole mindfuck night. And they took and they grabbed my shoulders, kind of pushed them inward, pulled me into them, and then threw me back. And then I had hearing. It's not to throw shame on this person because I still when they had to call the ambulance because I went going unconscious because I hit hard. I don't know how my head didn't split out open. I was just like down and I was like, get away. Like, and then I was like, what the fuck did you do? Somebody else said, what the fuck did you do? And everybody's crying. He's hollering at this other person. It's like, stop. And then the ambulance took me and they had somebody come in and ask me what happened. They knew I wasn't telling the truth. But after, like, I hollered, nobody helped me for the most part. But I know that that person was in a very bad place themselves, and they weren't talking. So I know what it's like when you're afraid for somebody else, let alone just like being afraid for yourself, but you're afraid for somebody else. And you're trying not to judge, you're trying to understand something, and there's no communication there. It can become hard and dangerous. And I know that. And a lot of people know that. It still gives nobody any right to physically lay a hand on anybody. And I know that it's a rage that comes within themselves because sometimes it can become like a frenzy. And I'm going to say like people who experience domestic violence or violence at all, it becomes rage, and rage can be uncontrollable unless you understand what it is that you're experiencing and you're able to tap in to spirit help from you. Because when I get in my rages, I like my mom and ancestors and spirit, like different aspects of spirit coming in and saying, like, Tara, you gotta calm down. Like just relax. It's okay. We know. Just relax. And I'm in like this. And they're like, just let it out easy. Let it out easy. Because when you get in that phase and you want to let it out, it just becomes utter chaos. And that's when things get destroyed. I watched a thing on TikTok. A woman was showing what her, I think, 10-year-old child or something like that did because the mother took the phone from him. He destroyed the home. He smashed everything in the home. And if that's happening, is that not telling people something? Like, like these gadgets that we have that they say is like, the natural or what have you. It's not natural. The lighting on it ain't even natural because it actually causes a lot of headaches. And you actually get frequencies that come off it, whether you want to or not, because it becomes a hypnotizing frequency. On some stuff they'll use, oh, let's meditate. Let's meditate. But when you're hearing that meditative music, there's also a sound going on there in the background that's manipulating your brain. They're just using the healing frequencies as a lure to make you think, oh, well, this is so peaceful. Music is so peaceful. The music is peaceful. It's got to be right. Not knowing that you're actually experiencing something that you don't consciously or realize that you're hearing. But right? It's cool. Because todo ya es el único. Okay? So now I got cat hair. So I want to thank everyone that has come in tonight. I know sometimes my lives can be long, and like I know, um, I think I got to get more. Um, I just have to like I don't know how to get to join the conversation. Um, shit, I'm full of cat hair. I don't know how to get the bigger conversations. Thank you. Oh, I know. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I know I can do this. Spirit's just getting me prepared so that, I don't take a shit fit on someone. But yeah, holy snapping arseholes, man. I just heard fucking cat hair. My cat is now washing his face with my towel. That's right. Apparently. Mhm. Just give me 1 minute. Can't find another rag. Use your sock. It was clean. Holy crap, man. Yeah, they leave their. I gotta find a place where I can actually get him groomed and pampered because where I'm at, there's not a lot of places that will do that. Yeah, because you're going through the sentence, sometimes it feels like you're fluid in Ha! Yeah, and it helps. Sometimes if you do that, you're coughing, it actually helps. I know that sounds pretty strange, but I even I started some business cards, but I haven't really given any out yet because I have mystical healing through the language of light, energy healing, and spiritual guidance with Spirit Mother. That's my card. And my card. But I'm not ready um, because, well, I am ready in a sense. It's more of like I know that when people are ready to sit with me individually or in a group to kind of, well, I'd rather it be one-on-one with people, and I say that because I can actually get deeper to the seeds, but that's only for people that are are ready to allow themselves to bring that stuff up that they don't want to look at or they don't want others to see or they don't want to admit to themselves. And I'm going to say that I'm very grateful and I'm very thankful that, you know, spirit kind of, gave me that kick up the ass that I really need it because I am very, I was very stubborn. Sometimes I still am, but spirit, just like, I'm going to send something. Like, we're going to make you feel it. You're going to let it go. Like, as far as am I still living in my past? Am I still having feelings about it? Certain things I'm still working through, but for the majority of the stuff, I've actually worked through it. So when I bring it forward, if I'm crying, it's more of that I am connected with other spirits that are understanding where I'm coming from because they too have experienced this stuff themselves. Ikimokurearisere, sukutueshara kikitotopea, ikumukututuke, sikiototorese, sisukurevereshkaramanakotokototore, ekototore, simukutotototore, kikitototore. So, I want to thank you all for coming in, and for those who gave me likes, what have you, if you followed or, or what have you. Like I said, I didn't come in here to find followers. I came in here to help you become a leader of yourself. Skinumukutai Shalakisiwe. Isukulabaki, Kitatari, Sukuri, I saw the hair in the group. Iknemukuya Totori. Use what talent you possess. The woods would be very silent if no birds sang, except those that sang best. So use your voice. When they say about the sword, your voice is the sword. Your voice, it's not about using your voice to blame other people. It's about your voice using it not only to help yourself heal, but it helps other people heal. Because when you start speaking your truth, you're not only speaking your truth, you're actually speaking the truth of other aspects of yourself, other ancestors of yourself. So judgment isn't about just making a quick judgment on something that you don't know nothing about. It's about asking those hard questions that a lot of people are afraid to ask. With that being said, I'm sending you all much love, light, many blessings, and most importantly, very good health to anyone and everyone wanting really to receive and accept. I want you all to be big, bold, brave. Most importantly, be yourself. Be your authentic self. Be true to yourself. Be true to others. Be who you are, not who somebody else says you are or you have to be. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. And know that you are more powerful and you have more strength than you can comprehend at times. I'm sending you all love. Apparently, my finger's not working again. Oh, there we go.